Alright everyone, Saturday's video as I make a last minute, some would say desperate move to get literally anyone on this video. We've settled for Stevie, and Stevie, we have to discuss transfer deadline day tomorrow. Yes, tomorrow's clash against Rangers and whatever else comes up. Hello Stevie, how's your deadline been?
Well, I was at work, so in true deadline day fashion, I had this gag years and years ago, right, where with deadline day, you know how everybody panic buyed and all that? There was this mad gag I did where you go into Greg's and you'd be paying £40 for a sausage roll just at the last minute and all that stuff. Like, I did all that, but you pretty much do that now anyway because the prices are that mental here. Don't know what it is like over there, but my deadline day has been pretty non-eventful. Somebody actually said to me, see, because I'm on certain social media platforms, somebody in the work said to me, how do you keep up with stuff? And do you know what I said? Through the likes of Hamish and John being professional in the chat, they just send everything on. So I really am an ignoramus. I just live my Celtic life through yous, but everything's good. I hope the listeners and viewers all have been too. It's not, I don't give a lot back there. I don't ask how other people are, but for once, I hope everybody's having a good day.
Very big of you. Very good of you. Stevie cares about you all. Everyone asks him every day. No, I don't actually. But lovely to have you with us on this Saturday video as we talk transfers, look ahead to the big derby tomorrow. I should just say right away, time restrictions mean that we are recording this a couple of hours from the end of the window. Of course, with Celtic, that means that business is still ongoing. Why would you do your business at in the likes of June and July when you can do them in the final 2 hours of the window, Stevie? So it means that, stuff might not have happened yet. I think we do have a fair idea of what's going to happen. Some stuff might happen while we're on as well, Stevie. And if not, I will even do a wee segment later on once the window is shut and I can add it into this video. So we're all covered.
Yeah, and also listen, I've always said that yourself and John are right ahead of the curve, but I'm going to also I've put my notifications on my phone. Look, I've got them on here so that if anything comes in, if anything's breaking, I will tell you as well, Hamish. I'll do my bit.
Fabulous.
I
Right,
know it's like Christmas for you, isn't
it? Auston Trusty is in. We know that. He's joined us from Sheffield United on a 5-year deal. A reported £6 million fee. One of the most expensive defenders in our history, I would say, alongside Cameron Carter-Vickers. And who's the one they always talk about from the early 2000s that we paid like $6 million for?
Well, we didn't pay $6 million for Yusuf Haran, but it was like $4 million we paid for him, I believe.
Maybe I'm getting mixed up. Who's the defender people always talk about as being like excellent early 2000s? It's not like Baldy or Haran. I think is it Elliot?
Oh, I was Elliot. What's the matter with your timelines? Elliot was like in the 80s. I was like this size.
Was he?
Aye. Paul Elliott. What is Hamish? You're going to take a doon in the comments here. Jeez, I can't believe you.
Oh dear. Anyway, I'm going to put it right back onto you quickly, Stevie. Do you want to tell the listeners what you're already referring to our new signing as, if he has a bad game, perhaps?
Indeed, Trusty the clown. Don't worry about that. But let's hope.
Are you doing the crusty impression like you did before we came on?
No, I need to have a Beffy. I'm on the Coke Zero, so don't worry about that. But no, hopefully the snide part from me there is at a minimum for Auston Trusty. But yeah, I've got to say, we were crying out for a centre half. The club have delivered at least, and for what I was reading, he was voted the player of the season by Birmingham's fans. I don't really know. That's not much of a barometer though, because we're looking for far more than that. We're looking for way better. I just hope that. For me, hope he's a player that can come in and take a lot of the pressure off Cameron Carter-Vickers. It seems like when Cameron Carter-Vickers is playing for us now, we saw last season when he came back into the team, he was doing like double the work at times. And I don't want to harp on about Liam Scales. I've done that enough. Liam Scales, the fact is, again, he played his part last season, but I think we've been looking for better. I hope Trusty is indeed the player that can be like the way Starfelt was with CCV, and they two can build a partnership. But we'll just have to wait and see how it goes. The main thing is the club have actually delivered. They spent money. I personally had my doubts about them getting in a centre half as well. I know that I really did. I know that John was quite confident they would, going with Brendan's comments. So well done to John for predicting it. But I did have my doubts because I thought that Brendan was so focused on getting in midfielders more than anything as well, and they were just so laser focused on the Engels deal, which is still not been announced. But yeah, I have to say, I'm just glad that we finally got that one over the line. And let's see, I don't know if he'll play on Sunday. Was there no that issue of the work permit or something, or has that all been cleared?
I think that was as we discussed yesterday, that was just a bit of a tabloid kind of
the
headline patter.
The boffins.
Yeah, USA ace and all that kind of stuff. So, I think he'll be fine. Whether he starts on Sunday, I would say no, but we can come on and chat about that later on, because I do think a new signing might start on Sunday. Stay tuned, everyone, if you really want to know who that is. Probably don't really care. Brendan Rodgers on Trusty. He is a quick, strong, athletic defender with great ability and good experience, and a player who has done really well to make his way to the USA national squad. We are really looking forward to working with Auston. I know he is really excited to be joining Celtic and looking forward to facing the challenges ahead and playing his part as we strive to bring our fans success once again. He's from Philadelphia as well, Stevie, a city that I love. Been there for a full 2 or 3 days, I think, in my whole life, but it was a wonderful 2 or 3 days. I know that the Ploughboy CSE are obviously based there, so I guess this will be a signing that means extra to them, having a player from Philadelphia there. So great stuff. You want to talk about Philly?
He's
Philadelphia. Like cheesesteak, don't you?
Oh, I do. He's Philadelphia, born and raised, as we remember.
Okay. Anything else on? I think he'll. I don't think he'll start on Sunday. I think he'll prove to be Cameron Carter-Vickers' partner. I mean, we've clearly signed him to be that. And yeah, we'll just have to wait and see. Like, I'll be honest, I don't know much about him. We'll obviously be finding out about him on the channel, and the things you hear from various people isn't wholly positive. But as I said yesterday to John, like, that was a case probably with Cameron Carter-Vickers when we signed him. Spurs fans, thought he was a bit of a nightmare, and Carter-Vickers has just been this colossus for us over the past 3 seasons. Celtic fans were writing off Adam Ida before he even came in, so it's what they do for Celtic that matters, and we'll find out with Auston Trusty. The club are clearly keen on him to pay that amount of money. Mm-hmm. And if he could partner Cameron Carter-Vickers and imagine he was as good or even nearly as good as Carter-Vickers, what a defensive duo that would be.
Yeah, it would be. It's exciting, isn't it? And one of the things as well, I think I asked you earlier in the week, and maybe it's one for the people in the comments, but you know how that's us getting All-American centre-half partnership. I was asking what focal partnerships of the same nationality who are foreign, who Celtic had in the past. I could only really think of at a stretch like Beaton and Kayal for that a couple of games in 13-14, and then Edward and Dembele are the only ones I can think of there too. So I can't think of any 2 players from the same country that are, would be partners on the pitch. So yeah, that was one I was thinking of. So I think that must be the first since Edward and Dembele, isn't it?
It's a great question, isn't it?
Some people say great question. I might just have too much time in my hands that I think these things, Hamish, so there is that.
No, I like it. I think we mentioned Hatate and Iwata. If they ever played together, they probably did at one stage, but I guess
Ibrox, they did at Ibrox for each game.
Yeah. Try to think if any kind of, I feel like maybe a Scandinavian partnership. I mean, Denayer, Van Dijk, Denayer was Belgian, wasn't he?
Yeah, it was.
Anyway, people can let us know. It's a fascinating debate. Elsewhere, we've got Arne Engels. That hasn't been announced at the point of us recording, but it's going to be happening. There's absolutely no doubt about that. It's going to be a hell of a statement signing, Stevie, to get a player in. It's going to be a club record fee. And I'm actually I cannot remember the last time I was as excited about a signing as this one. I think he's going to be, well, I hope he's brilliant, certainly from everything we hear. he's a hell of a talent. Called up to the Belgium squad as well yesterday.
Yeah,
like that's no mean feat. So buzzing to get this one done.
No, it stands out too. The fact is, well, you were on about him a few weeks ago. You were quite confident Celtic would get this deal done. I think you said it a few weeks ago, and this speculation was sort of at the start. And yeah, fair play for calling it. I think as well when you look at him, you notice as well he's 6 foot, so it's not as if he's coming in and he's like a smaller type player. He's actually like going to be. He just see looking at him, he looks like a proper European midfielder, doesn't he? Built for the elite level for the Champions League, and that's what we need. Like, he looks a big, strong boy. So yeah, I'm very happy that the club have spent the money. Listen, that's all I was on about. Like, I don't begrudge the fact that Celtic are swimming in wealth. I would rather that we were in a strong position financially than what we were when I was growing up as a Celtic fan in the 90s. It's a very decades ago, as we know. But look, it was crap, and we were having to get guys in for the army. I'm not joking. We signed 2 guys for the British Army. Things were that bad, and if our step up was the you'll hear the cult mentions of like Carol Muggleton and Wayne Biggins, and we couldn't lay a glove in Rangers. And do you know what? See, in that time, Rangers had no sympathy for us whatsoever. They were out to bury us, and rightly so. So they were out while we were doing all that. They were spending money on Laudrup, Basil Bolly, Gascoigne, Alberts. You know what I mean? Shoes on the other foot now, and it's just about us showing how strong we are, and it's just about us really like cementing our dominance, not only as I say in the league, but really, and we might touch on it when it comes to the European stage. We really have to make a mark on it. And Engels is the type of signing, again, without me seeing him play or Trusty, they just look like more your modern day elite footballers, don't they? And I ideally hope that Engels could come in and just get, put a mark down right away, because that's what we need. I think if we're paying that money on him, and I'll be patient. I'm not expecting fireworks right away, but I wouldn't be surprised if some fans out there are, demanding instant success. It's a lot of money for a club like us to be paying, but you know what? It's about time that we spent this money, Hamish, for the amount of money we throw at that club. It really is. And for as much as they all go on about giving themselves bonuses, for them as much as they go on about the amount of money they charge us to actually get in the stadium for a start, season tickets are even going through the roof now. The League Cup games and everything too. Sorry, I don't want to get too off point. I'm going to come back to Engels, but my general point is, it's all that money that we put into the club that is allowing them to go out and spend that 11 million on Engels. And I think the fans will genuinely continue to do it. I'll be an idiot and I'll continue to do it as long as we continue to buy in players of that quality and calibre. You know what I mean? And as I said to you a few weeks ago in pre-season, right, if this doesn't work out with Engels, if it turns out that he's a flop or whatever, and a couple of seasons he's away, do you know what? I won't put the bit into Celtic, because it looks like they are actually being ambitious. They've been forward thinking. They're not just getting a guy going, oh, he was good against us a couple of games ago, let's just get him. They actually look as if they've properly done a bit of scouting here. They've done a bit of homework. And like you, I'm really, really excited to see him play. It's why you go to games as a fan, isn't it? It's like you're wanting to be excited and see proper new signings and these guys like coming in to entertain. And I'm really hoping that he is going to be taking this to another level when it comes to European football, Hamish. So I think it should probably be announced what it was a part of 10:30 or something I'm seeing in that great chat that we'll not talk about too much. So yeah, hopefully that's maybe announced when we're doing this, but let's wait and see.
Yeah, it's massively exciting. It's always a risk when you spend that amount of money, but I'm pretty sure it'll prove to be really well spent money in a couple of years. I think it's a good point you make, that just because he's coming in with this price tag doesn't mean that we should instantly expect him to be at the level of Matt O'Reilly. Like, that's not going to happen. He's 20 years old. I was looking at some tweets from Derek Ray, who's obviously watched him a lot covering the Bundesliga, and he was saying that he's not the finished article yet, and fans need to be aware of that, but that he's a very tidy player and someone that we'll really like. So just very excited to get this one done. It's proper ambition, I think, shown by the club. And yeah, I don't think we can really argue with it as a Matt O'Reilly replacement. Right, a few other bits of transfer news before we move on to the derby. It's finally over, Stevie. Mikey Johnston has departed the club permanently to join West Brom, said to have got us around £3 million. I just want to say, like, Mikey Johnston, I hope this would kind of go without saying, but just good luck to him going forward, really. I hope he goes and smashes it there. He's obviously done relatively well on loan there, and I hope he goes on to have a fantastic career. I think it's good for him that he's now leaving the club. I think it's good for Celtic. It's good for the support as well. That relationship just had kind of gone past the point of being salvaged, I think. But yeah, Mikey Johnston didn't massively work out, but he gave us some good moments over the years. I thought he always carried himself really well as a Celtic player. That's what I would say. You didn't ever really get headlines about Mikey Johnston off the park, did you? And I really hope he goes on to have a fantastic career, and I think we'll keep an eye on him because he's one of our players that's come through to play for the first team, and West Brom, and he's netted us £3 million as well.
Yeah, he has, and I had really high hopes for him, especially in the 1920 season, wasn't it? He scored a brilliant goal against Ross County. He was scoring against Rennes.
Sarajevo. Remember he scored away to Sarajevo.
That's right, yeah.
Qualifier.
It was just funny. I think the mental strength that he had to actually deal with the criticism he was getting, and it was at times really scathing from Celtic fans. I personally, I didn't go all in on him because I was just at the point I knew Mikey Johnston wasn't quite at the level, and it was more I was more criticising the manager for persevering at times, especially last season. It was blatantly obvious he was in a position to fail around about him. In that game against Hearts, where I think it was Stephen Kingsley practically felt as if at times he ended his Celtic career, but then 2 weeks later he went to Dundee and scored, remember? So the mental strength to that was, and then he had a fantastic time at West Brom. So yeah, I agree with you. I think the relationship really did break down. There was no coming back from it. I think he was just at Celtic for too long, and it got to the point it was too comfortable, and that's what it felt like. And overall, it's the best. I think it was the best move for everyone, wasn't it? And yeah, it goes with my best wishes, and I think it's a testament as well that we've got £3 million in for him, because at one point I thought we were just going to cut our losses and let him go completely. So fair play to the club for getting that money.
I think it's something we've noticed to a couple of players now we've sold this summer. Like, the money is out there. People talk about the money we spent for Adam Ida, and such a big deal was made of that. But you look at like the money we got with £3 million for Mikey Johnston, I think £2 to £3 million for Bosun Lawal. Played once for us, I think, competitively. I think got us like £4 million or something like that. Haksabanovic. So there's money out there generally, so it's good from the club. Right, okay, that'll do transfer wise. Enter Hamish from the future to tell us how the window ended. Okay, everyone, a few deals that happened right at the end of the window. Arne Engels is in. He was confirmed 8 minutes before the deadline. He's joined on a 4-year deal and will wear the number 27. Luke McCowan is also in. He's joined on a 3-year deal from Dundee for a reported £1 million. Moving on from Celtic at the deadline was Tomoki Iwata. He's joined Birmingham City, managed by Chris Davies, and it's a permanent transfer. Right, great stuff. Stevie, you mentioned the Champions League draw a minute ago. What did you make of that?
Pretty somewhere in the middle, really, because I'm not arrogant enough to think that it was an easy draw. I want to say it's a good draw, but not good as in I think we can turn up and, afford to be complacent and squish teams. That's never going to be the case. I'm very much aware that our record in Europe has been pretty dismal. Yes, we've got claimed some scalps, but let's not kid ourselves. We've massively let ourselves down as well. There's been some daft performances, stupid mistakes, and leading to, really, really big disappointments. But I think my overall feeling from it is that could have been so much worse. And it should really motivate the club to, and I'm guessing it did motivate the club to get the deals over the line with, certainly what we've seen with Trusty today. I think Engels was already done, wasn't it? But you're looking at the teams there, and I'm not going to turn around and say that all beatable, right? But we should be looking I mean, genuinely, we should be looking though. I don't want to put a points number on it or anything. I'm getting on it, not going to be that foolish. But I guess the overall feeling is we shouldn't be getting feeding anyone though. You know what I mean? We should certainly give every team respect, and I mean that sincerely. But we should not be feeding anyone like we have in the past, like a couple of years ago when we got Real Madrid. Even getting into the games with Real, I was like, I love Postecoglou and I love the energy and atmosphere around the club. I love the team that he's built, but I already knew getting into that home game, we're done here. And then last season as well, against Atletico Madrid, I thought Diego Simeone's just going to absolutely body us. It's just that team's just on another level to us. So I already went into the games thinking we're not getting beat. But honestly, getting into these matches, Leipzig, Dortmund, Atalanta, and all the way through to Bratislava, like, I'm not getting in bricking it or anything. I want to go in optimistic and say Celtic can prepare themselves and put them in the best possible position. I think there's every chance that we could actually get to the knockout stages and aim for it. I think what the club should be doing is aiming for at least get to that 24th spot. I think they should. That's where they should aim. And I'm not going to say we should be aiming for like 9th and 10th and all that. Right? It's got to be a low bar for us in baby steps. I'm sorry if people don't like hearing that, but after the last sort of 20 odd years seen as in Europe, that's just where my mindset is. Wait, but if we can aim for 24th place and get to a knockout, just building a strong home record in this new format, I think there's every chance we could do something.
Yep, I agree with that. I think it's a great draw. I know a few people in the comments yesterday say, Celtic are awful and all that kind of stuff. Let's have a bit of belief and be respectful of our opposition, as you say, Stevie. Brendan Rodgers made that point as well. Let's have a bit of belief. Fixtures, etc., out on Saturday at some stage, everyone. So that's all well and good. Actually, I forgot a wee bit of transfer news, Stevie, because we've not actually had a chance to chat to you about this, but obviously one of the Celtic support's favourite midfielders of recent years departed the scene. Recently, he's moved down south, as we know, and leaves us with some great memories, and he's going to be sorely missed, Stevie. So just a few words on Todd Cantwell, if you wouldn't mind.
Very good. You know what? I planned that gag as well, but I thought, Hamish will have that lined up because he is a pro, as I keep saying. You know,
I literally do mean a few words, so give us maybe 2 or 3 words, please.
Okay, I just want to say thank you for that amazing memory when he took the water bottle away for Rio Hatate.
Aye.
Only for Alfredo Morelos to basically go, just have a drink of water, mate. It really was quite something. Thank you, Theodore Todd Cantwell.
I noticed Chris Sutton was tweeting one final dig at Todd Cantwell. He tweeted to say, I bet Callum McGregor is breathing a big sigh of relief this evening. Good luck to Todd. He needs to start doing his talking on the pitch. He's gone to a great club. I just love how these guys come into Rangers and think they're going to get the better of Celtic, and they ingratiate themselves to the Rangers support by doing things like you say, like by riling them up. And I've just spilled water all over my laptop. Oh dear. Todd Cantwell gets the last laugh, it appears. Hang on, I'll get a video of this. Anyway, as I was saying, thank you, Todd, for the memories. I can't believe that. I think we're okay if this doesn't cut out. Right, that moves us on to Sunday's derby then, Stevie. Team news, CCV did miss training on Friday. However, this wasn't related to an injury. Brendan Rodgers saying, we just gave him a wee recovery. We sometimes do that with players who are overloaded, and we measure and monitor that. We can take 1 or 2 out and give them a recovery day, having worked hard all week. He's fine.
I get that at work once a week as well, mate. It's fine.
On new signings potentially playing, a number of players we have been looking at have been playing and they are up to speed. We will always do an MOT on the players whenever they come in, just to see where they are at anyway. Most of the players we're looking at will be in a good place. So, Stevie, do any new signings start?
I think if we're paying this money for Engels, and I think if he is the big dog that we hope he is, I think he comes in. I think you've got to start him. And, I think 2 in the midfield, 3, start themselves, sorry, don't they? It will be Callum and Rio. But Honestly, I think the third one between Paulo Bernardo and Arne Engels, Brendan, the manager we trust, he'll know best. But look, I actually wouldn't be fussed. I would understand if for consistency, and especially for how he played last week. Paulo Bernardo, especially against Rangers as well, and what he's played like against them in the past. Totally get it. But if Arne Engels is a big dog that Celtic are making him out to be, if he's thrown on for the start, fair enough. So no complaints either way there. Trusty, I take it he can start them about the work permit stuff we were talking about.
I think that's fine. I think he's able to start. I just don't think he will start. I think the back line, your relationship's really important. I guess Trusty will know Carter Vickers. Well, I've played with him, I guess, but not as much as Carter Vickers and Scales have played. Here's my team, by the way. So Schmeichel, Johnston, Carter Vickers, Scales, Taylor, McGregor, Hatate, Engels, Kuhn, Maida, Kyogo. How many of those do you agree with? There's a few debates we can have. Does James Forrest deserve to start? Does Adamida start over Kyogo? Does Trusty come in? Does Vai come in at left back?
Yeah, I would. I'd like to. Well, no, I would actually like to see Vai come in at left back, if I'm honest. But I also get it in terms of consistency and having a safe and assured presence, especially in defence. So I agree with that. And for a guy who's been wanting to see an upgrade in Liam Scales, I still would accept why he's obviously going to be starting there. I would actually generally go with the same team. I'm not trying to pander to you or that. I'm just being honest. Like that would be the exact same team I go with. But I wouldn't be shocked if we also see Adamida come on at some stage as well, even earlier than what we expect for Furuhashi. And I think the game's going to be won on the wing for Celtic. I think the big weakness at the back is for Rangers. Usually when it comes to these things, I'm always talking about the dangers of Tavernier, but from what I've seen this season, he's barely got over the halfway line. Seems like a real shadow of what he's been in the past couple of seasons, and I do feel if Daisa Maeda and Nicholas Kuhn are 100% focused, I think Rangers are going to really struggle to live with it.
I think Kuhn's really exciting for this game. I think Kyogo starts for me. Well, he does. He's in my team. I can see the argument for Ida, that physical presence, but I just think Kyogo with that movement will kill their backline. I know Connor Goldson was a bit of a joke for them in the end, but I'm really not convinced about a new backline with that guy Proper playing next to Suter, who's obviously had some bad memories at Celtic Park. So I just fancy this one. How are you feeling about it? I mean, and is there any part of you that looks at Rangers and thinks there's a danger there?
Yeah, I think you've got to look at the form Dessers has been in. Like, as much as we might laugh and joke and mock away, especially for some of the big chances he missed last season. I mean, he did score at Celtic Park and he looks as if he's been in good form. Certainly seems like he's got the mental strength at least to be their number 9 at least. I don't think we can go into that one thinking it's just going to be a big laugh and joke and a party atmosphere. I don't think it will be. I think the manager will take it ultra seriously, and we should. But at the same time, I'm really confident, and I don't think like I heard John say a bit on it, and John was saying how he's really confident getting into this game, and he wasn't saying it to be out of order or anything. It was just an indictment of just how well Celtic are playing now, Hamish. I just feel that man for man and all over the park, and even in the dugout and the staff, we're just superior to Rangers there now, and it's up to them to basically prove me wrong. But hope they don't. And at the same time, I've just got real confidence in this Celtic team, especially by the way we started this season, and now we've added hopefully quality players to the squad as well, and it can only be a real shot in the arm for everyone.
Yeah, I'm feeling good about this game. I think, as I said earlier in the week, I think it's all the question for me is what level does Celtic bring to this match, and I don't really see us turning up and being sloppy. I think we're just at such a good level, and the team will be so motivated for this one. And you get an early goal, and I think the support really fancy it on Sunday. I think there's going to be a buoyant atmosphere now. It's been a really good week so far. As kind of bleak as things were transfer wise, and I know all those issues from early in the window are still there. It has been a good week, I think, in terms of getting players in. We've broken our transfer record. Centre back's been signed, left back, etc. The Champions League draw, as we've covered, was, let's just say, forgiven. Could have been a lot worse. And now we've got a home derby Celtic Park filled with Celtic fans and ready, and a chance to go 5 points clear of our rivals. So I think the atmosphere is going to be good, and I think we're going to win the game. I'll say something like 2-0. I don't think it's going to be particularly... It's not going to be a smashing victory or anything like that, but we'll certainly win the game, I think. Let's just take a look at the men who matter, as Ian Crocker would say. Referee is John Beaton, assistants Daniel McFarlane and Jonathan Bell. Fourth official David Dickinson. VAR is Andrew Dallas, and assistant VAR is Graham Stewart. Right, Stevie, I need to head off because I'm doing about 2 different other Celtic YouTube channels, live shows and transfer deadline day, but I'll give the floor to you to round us off. Send us into Sunday.
Let's just, the main thing is, Hamish, and the main thing is for any Celtic players or even the manager watching, the result would be nice, but it's all just about making sure that the players get a lot of fresh air and exercise, and the fans as well. So let's have a good one.
Fabulous. I'm sure you'll be saying that after the game if things don't go to plan. You will be on after the game from outside Celtic Park as well. So enjoy the game.
I was just going to say, remember I'm doing that post-match thing as well, so it'll be a wee bit later.
Yes, no worries. We'll hear from the press conferences as well. See what you've said to wind up Philip Clement. Right. Thank you, everyone. Enjoy the game if you're going to it, if you're watching around the world, wherever. Enjoy it. Let's hope we can get a big victory. And as I say, we'll be back after the game to discuss it all regardless of the result. So speak to you then.